Thank you, Nico or Anna. We'll get ready. And y'all can see my screen okay? And you see our new tamale, Tomas, he's doing the hook'em. One of our conference visitors' daughters is an artist, and I guess they were a little offended that I used AI to generate the first one, so they recreated it for me.
Definitely a lot smoother.
And cuter. It's just got, and look at the boots, and you can't, I mean, it used to have little rounded feet. Now it's got really nice hook'em boots.
Are y'all still riding high from that victory from the other day?
I mean, the conference. I mean, we'll talk about the conference, but
No, that and the football game.
ah, yes, the football game.
They have to win
Not
all the
forget about
time for us to be celebrating the victories. They have to get all the victories, but they're kind of hit and miss right now. So
Well, I'm a Clemson fan, so we went through some really rough times. So, yeah, we've been there, done that.
but as long as they keep this winning streak, then we'll start really celebrating. Both of my granddaughters love watching the Texans or the UT team, not the Texans, not because of the players, but because of the band. It's all about the band. So, all right. Well, it is 3:32. Nico, I think you're going to get started, right?
Yeah.
But you're
So
gonna
yeah,
you're gonna have to tell me when to move the slide.
yeah, no worries. Yeah. So happy October, everyone. Happy 2025. Actually, let me close my door real quick. Welcome to Tamales, our Texas Assistive Technology Makers Alliance. I am Nico. We have Shannon, Anna. But as we always say, Tamales is not just us, it's every one of you that attends. So next slide. All right. So yeah, we did some construction so far as we got a new logo, kind of a new banner. Just Mission Impossible is we've been doing a lot of things, especially with our conference. But we did redesign the mission a little bit. So it's to create a Texan maker network that supports and includes people with disabilities by collaborating to design unique tools and solutions that promote independence. This is a little bit shorter than our last mission, but still keeping the same message. And this is just a reminder. Shannon has been always wanting to just get our brains flowing, our juices, brain juices flowing, as far as like how AT intersects with makers and how we can kind of think outside the box. So.
And we want to consider all of these areas. It's not one and done. It's not like somebody has to have one tool. We're looking at all of these areas when we're creating these tools, because sometimes it's those little tools that create independence. And one of our themes at the conference was recreation, play, and gaming. And we're finding a really nice intersection between makers and the play and gaming. And that's why we had our first Maker Lab. I'm turning it back to you, Nico.
Yeah, I'm excited to talk about the Maker Lab. So yeah, on today's agenda, we're going to talk about our conference, including the Maker Lab. We'll talk about new connections, any new faces that have joined us, and then just new resources and any kind of tech intel so far as how the semester is going for everyone and where have you been? How have you been? So next slide. All right, so well, this is our old colorways, but Viva La Vida conference wrap up. So we had a very wonderful time. It was a great time. I hope other folks that I do see on the call that did attend, they had a great time as well. We are doing it next year. We are just going to kind of shift it. We're just refining it a little bit each year, and it's going to be better and better. So next year we will be doing it. It's going to be towards the end of October. And I believe on the calendar, it's a Wednesday, Thursday, Shannon, right?
Yeah, it's almost confirmed. It's either a Tuesday, Wednesday, or Wednesday, Thursday. At this point, we're hoping for the 28th and the 29th, with the 27th being a setup day. So it will definitely be the last week of October next year. So mark that on your calendar, because we're hoping it will be bigger and better next year. We've already had some people reach out, more vendors, et cetera, that missed it and want to be a part of it. So we're really excited.
Yeah, and Shannon had this really cool exercise that's called circle, triangle, square. I've known it tangentially as rosebud thorn, but this one has a little more of a positive spin on it. So I guess the circling, you're gonna have to help me out with the square, but the circle one is what are some things from the conference that are still circling around in your head? The triangle are three big takeaway points. And then the square, I think, is what squared away with you, Shannon, right?
Yep, what squared with you?
So just really, I guess, aside from your takeaway points, what was just a very big positive for you and you thought just really nailed it on the head. So um, next slide.
And that's what they're supposed to put in the chat.
Yes, please put in the chat. So circle,
What
what's
what
circling?
squared? What's still circling in your head? What squared with you? And what are your what were three takeaways?
Yes, wonderful. Is this where I pass the baton or do I keep going?
You keep going.
Wonderful. So this was our first day of the conference. So this is part of our maker workshop that we had. So there was multiple events going on throughout the day. And what we had was our CNS lab from UT Austin. They came in, and essentially that's I want to say the CTE kind of esque program that UT has. Anyone's able to join. It's the Welsh Maker Lab. And it's kind of like the student facing side while we do other things within the intersection of disabilities and AT. They do a lot of other things. They have a lot of other maker tools. I'm not sure if Anna or Shannon could populate the chat with the CNS website. That would be wonderful. But really what we did here was they did switches. These are the microbit switches that Patrick, right? Yes, Patrick was showing off to the students. Actually, there's Ben right there. So it was
And
really,
Ben, we put you in one of the pictures. I don't know if this is the one, but we oh yeah, there. No, you're not in this one. Ben, you
maybe
want to
the
talk
next
about
slide.
your experience?
The Maker Labs were fantastic. I'm right there on that in that right picture. You just see the back of my bald head there. Um,
Uh-oh.
I learned a lot. I loved the switches. This one was one of my favorites. I didn't have time to finish it though, so I still need to reach out to finish getting instructions on how to get that set up. Um, but everybody was
Patrick's going to make a video for us to put on our website.
perfect. They were all very passionate about it and very engaging. So bravo. Awesome job.
Yay.
Yeah, thank you, Ben. The things that Patrick is doing at the CNS Makerspace, I Shannon, you'll have to remind me of his background again. But he is just really taken this from the ground up, from kind of, I would say, post pandemic. It took a big impact during that time, and he's really taken it from like the dust and built it into a really significant space nowadays. So this was, as Ben said, he had a great time. I would say everyone else had a great time. And folks, even if they didn't participate in the workshop, they still wanted the kit to take home. And I believe we sold out of all of our kits.
We
So
had 30 kits and we sold out, and we had people asking for more. So that was really beneficial. And so that was a successful day. And then we're already working on next year's maker projects. We're going to be making a switch. So anyway, so that was year one. And Patrick said that he would also help us next year again because they really enjoyed the activity. And I'll let you move
yeah,
forward to the next day, Nico.
yeah, it was great exposure for both ends. And I think we're only gonna like forge that our relationship even further in the next year. So we had the doodling robot with Adapt. Adapt is a nationwide student-led organization that looks to do adaptions for folks. And it ranges from all types of maker activities. So here, what we have was the doodling robot. And we have the gentleman in the top left corner. He was doing some soldering demos. And the doodling robot was really fun just because of that kind of creative nature of just like it crawling around on the piece of paper doing its thing. And then ADAP also had their poster presentations up in the top right, just showcasing what they've been doing as a student organization on UT campus. And I believe this is their first year of being an organization at UT. Second year.
Yeah, it's their second year.
It was a really great time. Another great collaboration because I think they are encouraged by what they saw. They want to kind of do their own things on our main campus. As folks, to remind folks, we are housed at our satellite campus. But on the main campus, it's all students, and they really want to expand their reach so far as just what they could tap into with the student population. We're not always able to access that. Just kind of logistically, it's really tough with I-35 and just construction and all that. But they are just a great resource for now and in the future so far as getting at that pathway to connecting with students. So we also had another student group come through. Dr. Lee's not here now, but I think that's the next slide.
Yeah.
Well,
so yeah,
actually, I'm here. So
you are here, Dr. Lee.
Yeah.
Woo! So I don't need to do much of the introduction. Dr. Lee had his high school student team and his son come through, and they did live demonstrations of what they've been working on, including as maybe Ken can see in the top right, which is his little toy that he invented for. Yeah, his team was phenomenal. Thanks, Ben. It was a really great demonstration. They also did a presentation to the makers at the conference. And it was just cool. And our next slide will show you kind of we have a demonstration video that showcases the true capabilities of what they've been up to so far as yes.
I have to say, because I'm still going through the feedback and I'm getting ready to send that out to the presenters, but Dr. Lee's group, even on their table, was mentioned in our overall session feedback, which I'll send to you, Dr. Lee. I'm behind because I took a week off with my grandkids and my best friends coming, and I needed to decompress from the conference, but now I'm back on and I'm going strong. So I'll be sending that out to our presenters coming next week. But there was some really nice feedback specifically targeting Dr. Lee's high school group, and it was fantastic.
Well, thank you.
I think is the video on the next slide?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So cool. One of the things that the group made was a harp using, and I'm going to let Dr. Lee tell about what it is because I'm going to hack it if I do it myself. So would you just talk about the harp, and then we've got a gentleman who's actually experimenting with it, which is exactly what the whole conference is for.
Sure, not a problem. Can you all hear me well? Again, I had a little bit issues with trying to get on, but if you can hear me well, I can continue.
Yeah, you sound great.
Good? Okay.
Yeah.
We were tasked by Shannon on trying to do various different things with switches, and one of the aspect of switches was using light, and we actually tried quite a few of this using light to turn things on, turn things off, and one of the things that this one didn't turn things on, but it actually play musical instrument. And this turned out to be something that was quite interesting because using the laser beam, that can turn on musical sound. So by coding it to a different frequency, we can actually play various different notes. And as a result, that turned out to be well, to me, it's just a switch, basically, turn on the music. But to other people, especially the kids in the special ed classes, they were fascinated by it. And for your information, we turned that into a project because we talked to T.H. Roger and we talked to the special ed teachers at our school as well. We're going to make maybe about 4 to 5 instruments and have the kids get together and learn how to play a very simple song, maybe a 1 minute type. They can play together and maybe have some kind of a performance type. So that turned out to be something that the teachers were quite anxious to get because they think that was excellent for the kids with their own special ed kids that were interested in sound. So we're going to try to do this by Christmas. And by the way, you're all invited if you want to come by, if you're near where we are. We'll see what happens. If not, we're going to tape it and then send it to you, Shannon, if you want to.
Oh, I'm going to be there.
Okay.
I'm coming,
Okay,
and
and
we'll post it.
Yeah, we'll post it somehow, just to let you see how things are, and if it's something that might be useful for other kids, because I think it doesn't take much effort at all to play, and I can see from the video. How about that? Let the gentleman show.
So you might need 2 hands.
They're like around 2 inches apart.
Oh, so my fingers can straight wide. That's cool.
And this participant is blind. So it's just a brief video, but we got that. But everybody was going by and putting their hands through, breaking the lights and making the sounds. And it was really just a neat adventure. So
it doesn't
so that,
show just the video doesn't show justice, but actually
I would agree.
It does turn out pretty good when you play at consecutive notes. I think Leo was playing the song Frere Jacques, the French song, so that kind of interesting.
I will post, now that I think about it and I forgot, I did videotape that when he was presenting and I have that. So I will post that on our next session, I promise.
Yes,
so you'll have the whole song. But I thought this was a good video because it was actually our audience interacting with your students, our participants. And that's really the whole purpose of our conference, is bringing everyone together. All right, back to Nico. Oh,
Yeah.
no, now we're going to turn it over to Anna.
Okay, on over to Anna.
So that was just like a snapshot of some of the really cool things that came out of Viva la Vida. I love that these events don't just showcase that like what we've already built, but they inspire what we can do next. So, but speaking of like what's next, I want to take a moment to welcome any new members and give everyone a quick chance to introduce themselves if they'd like. We like to keep this casual and fun. The prompts on the slide are just to get a conversation going. You can share as much or as little as you want. So if you'd like to introduce yourself, feel free to just jump in and unmute or raise your hand and we can go one at a time. So basically, it's just like, what part of Texas are you from? How'd you hear about us? What is your favorite maker tool? And like, what is a maker goal you might have?
So if anyone's new out there, jump on in. Or you can, go ahead.
Sorry. Fairly new. This is my second Tamales. Went to TTAP, loved it. Formerly an SLP, kind of retired out of that and in diving deep into the AAC world. So I'm real familiar with most communication devices, but the other aspects of assistive technology are a little new for me. So I did enjoy the TTAP conference a lot. I got a lot of hands-on. I got a lot of seeing a lot of neat devices and tools. I am from a shared service arrangement that has 11 small rural districts to it. We have a really good foundation for an AT program here. The the SLP that had it and established it about 4 years ago did a great job of securing a really good lab, and we've got a lot of great tools. But then she recently, not too long after that, left and kind of left us to kind of manage that on our own. So there's two of us, and so we're kind of making our way through trying to get everything reestablished, get replenished a lot of our materials. Our big component that we're learning to gain and use is our 3D maker. We have an actual wood tool maker that can make personalized puzzles and stuff, so we're having to learn how to make that. And adapted toys, so switches. So I have a whole list.
Well, thank you for sharing.
Perfect. And Sharon, I'm glad you're here. And Miha.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Meha Pari. I am located in Austin, Texas. So I work with students in Austin in Round Rock ISD, and these students are from different backgrounds, but they're working on a robotics team. And what they are interested is in helping solve a problem using their skills and maybe contribute in these special initiatives, in making these special toys, adaptive toys. I was looking for opportunities. That's how I got in touch with Shannon. I connected with her last week. Hearing about all the cool things in the conference. I missed the conference, but it is great that I got to see the glimpse of the conference. So that is very exciting. And looking forward to connect to some of you and finding opportunities for the kids to actually use their skills where they can make a difference.
And we'll have a conference next October, and you could possibly bring some of your student projects to showcase then.
That will be perfect. Thank you, Shannon.
All right. Any other new members? Let me give it back to you, Anna.
Would anyone else like to share? Or is anyone else new? Let's see.
Well, if nobody wants to, I want to share a little bit, in part, if it's okay with y'all.
Yes.
First of all, I have to leave a little early because I have another meeting today, so I apologize for a short one. This is why I want to share part of my feeling about we were really enjoying our Viva La Vida conference. We were very well treated. Thank you so much for everybody who be nice to us. The kids were, even though I have one student, and that was a surprise because we're not supposed to have any, and because the school district, believe it or not, did not allow us to go.
They denied them at the last second, but one parent said no and decided to bring the student.
So, but anyway, it works out great because I had two teams and they all represented, and they were wonderful. But more importantly, I had a chance to see what the whole thing is all about, and I thought it was a wonderful, and I think the students was very interested in doing that. And I'm talking about young and old students. One student in high school, the rest was still like young adults in the 20s, and they are professional. They're working right now, but they are very interested, and they wanted to do more of what we started. Okay, so just want to let you know that it had changed lives for some of my students. The one that came with me, the reason he came because he chose to do this because of what we've done. So that I as soon as I saw it, I know this is what I'm going to do in the future. So he's going to go and continue his college education doing this. Okay, so that you change life. Secondly, I think in that regard, other from the other team, they want to do this because they realize their skill could help other people, and that's another thing too. We were very interested in seeing the problem and finding out solution. And that's my field. I like to solve problems. I like to help others, students, to solve problems. And that's thanks to Shannon, we are able to see a lot of this, and I'm glad we were able to do some of it. And there's a lot of things that we don't know, and there's a lot of things that we want to know, and a lot of things that we can see. So we're hoping that we can continue to doing some of this as well. And with you all help, we'd be happy to continue to do as best we can. Again, thank you. Appreciate everything, Shannon and your team.
Well, and we appreciate you, Dr. Lee. And it's not just Shannon, it's definitely a team effort. Anna and Nika, and the people who are not here, we all work really closely together because we're a small, tight team. So we're all a work in progress. But I do want to share, I attended Dr. Lee's students. They did a session on us. They could only come on Friday. So we worked it out so that they would have that time to do a session to show off their equipment. And we have very good comments from their session. But in the Q&A, I asked one of the students, Brian, who is a phenomenal young man, I said, before you started this work, had you ever met anyone with a disability before? And he said, no, he had had no contact with anyone. And I think that's one of the things we're doing is we're bringing individuals together with the individuals with disabilities. So we're working together, which is the way that AT should really be developed. And it's that collaborative effort that builds tools, but even more so, any of the research that you look at regarding these projects, the number one unintended outcome is the relationships that are established due to these projects, which I think is outstanding for everyone. You start to see people as people rather than people with disabilities or people as engineers, and you start to come together as friends, and it's really nice. So, and historically, if you go back and look at some of the leaders from way, way back, there's a gentleman, Greg Vander Heiden. He will say that he was tricked into the field of AT because he was tricked into going and meeting with a student. And from there, it kind of opened that same kind of door. And there's a couple, Bruce Baker, if you ever look at some of his old videos, he developed semantic compaction, which is a vocabulary set. And he said the same thing. It was working with that friend that helped him want to do something that made a difference, which is why these relationships are so important. All right, I'm going to turn it back to you, Anna. Oh, no, it's my turn.
Well, I was going to say thank you to everyone
Go
who
ahead.
shared. We're glad to have you join us today. We like hearing like all the different maker interests and goals and, you know, your background and things like that. And if you didn't have a chance to share, or maybe like returning members want to share something about themselves for like the new members, then go ahead and feel free to put that in the chat as well. And then with that, I'm going to hand it over back to Shannon, who's going to share some new resources and updates with us.
All right, so some of the things I'm always looking for new resources to share with you so that you can take them out, not so much to copy, but to get ideas. We take an idea of one thing, like Dr. Lee's work, and then you make it your own and make it better. So this I thought was a neat site. It's we typically tend to, I do, because I'm a speech language pathologist, I tend to lean more towards assistive technology sites. But this is an actual engineering site, a teach engineering site. And it's kind of cool because they have, if you look up assistive technology, and I know we've got some teachers in the mix, it will actually show some activities that have been developed in some units that have to do with assistive technology. So it's just starting to chip away, but you can see that we're starting to include more of this type of work in some of these educational programs. Now, if you looked at how many lessons were available versus how many are assistive technology, it's not very many, but at least it's showing that we're getting that. So here's an assistive technology artistic device, and it gives you a summary, and it goes through that project-based learning. They've got their learning objectives, materials list so that you can duplicate these types of activities. And I think it's a neat site because it's starting once again to give you that information. So what I will do is I will put this link in the chat, but it's also in our Padlet. So I'm going to put this in our chat real quick. So if you want to copy that. you know, we're just touching on this and we want to just see it keep growing. And already now you've got Round Rock ISD, you've got Houston ISD here, plus we've got the professionals, and it's just really building those relationships. So that was the first one. And then the next one is, it's been around, but I was amazed that I was talking with some individuals. Go ahead. I was talking with some individuals who had not seen the Makey Makey, and so we have seen some of the Makey Makey used, and I'm not going to play the video, but we've seen some of the Makey Makeys being used as a switch interface. But one of the things that we did at the conference was we just 3D printed a little casing for the tap, which is what they called it. And that was an actual computer interface. It was an interface with switches to access a computer or a tablet, and that was really cool. So Makey Makeys are just another option if you're experimenting with things, because they're relatively inexpensive and easy to program. Let me clear those out. So those are two of the new resources that I've put in the Padlet. And then this third thing is called a MyoSpring. And I found this article and I thought it was fascinating. So I'm going to share that with you. Just to make sure, let me open up the Padlet real quick. Oops. Let me get you on the Padlet to make sure. And I'm going to put that link in the chat for everyone who's new. Here we go. And this is on our website. So, oops, wrong one. Got impulsive. So let me share this so that you can look at it. And I'll show you where I put the new resources. So if you scroll over, we have this organized, and under project examples, that's where I put some of the new information. So if you look all the way down, you can see that we've added, maybe it's at the top. Well, maybe it didn't add. Or maybe I put it in the wrong, oh no, it was under files and plans. So here we have, this is what we did at the conference. We did the dual switch tap, and then we've added the school engineering projects, Makey Makey, and then this last one is the document for the MyoSpring, which I'm going to show you on a video next. And they give you specific instructions on how to make this wearable spring and then program it so that it acts as a control, much like a switch. And I've got the video for that next, but the instructions are all right there. So let me move forward. So this is a really neat kind of, and it kind of reminds me of what Dr. Lee just presented in regards to the lights and the music. And once again, this is 3D printed technology.
We present MyoSpring, a novel wearable sensor for recognition of subtle finger gestures. Our solution enables springs to be easily generated with custom behaviors, then 3D printed for use in a wearable bracelet. MyoSpring can not only recognize full finger flexion gestures, but also detect subtle, partial finger movements with high accuracy. This can be of use in a public setting, allowing users to discreetly control a music player.
Watch his hand.
Or a smartphone. Using MyoSpring, we also demonstrate a rehabilitation application for people with conditions affecting joint movement, such as arthritis or stroke. The application allows users to play songs on a virtual piano. Users can thus train their finger independence and strength in an engaging and effective way. MyoSpring, enabling an easy 3D printing pipeline for customized finger gesture recognition sensors.
And so for me, it's not just the MyoSpring, but it's the ability to use some such simple technology to do something which used to be so difficult. And I think that's the big thing about really bringing our makers into a world with our individuals with disabilities, because something like that, if they've got the right person, they can fine tune it to that individual, and then you can really see some of these projects take off. So, but I just wanted to share that because that was it seemed to me like such a simple little project, and yet look at how much potential it has on use for even a switch access for someone gaining access to a computer. So, any thoughts on that?
I just
Just
picture
blown
all of
away.
these. This is awesome. All of the applications that we can use with a variety of different, my mind goes straight to our students, but really to anybody.
Right. I mean, I've got a 3D printer at my house now, and my children do. So you're looking at this kind of thing where I could have a neighbor with a disability. Like I think of Dr. Lee or Meha's students where they can start to look at their neighbors who might be elderly or aging and all of the things that they can help for accessibility. So the sky's the limit. Or Sharon living out in those rural districts where you've got some students hidden in there, I'm sure, that have these ideas, but they haven't been connected to the right individuals to support. And hopefully next month we'll have a maker space from Waco ISD, and they actually went to a nursing home. And so I'm hoping she will present next month on her project, because she said they were blown away by what the kids were doing in a middle school for this nursing home. So all of that is yet to come. All right, and then this next one, once again, so you saw how much potential that had. And so this is another product that I saw, which I see a lot of potential for this type of technology. And there was even one where they're using some 3D printing. So I'm going to open this link up. I put the Padlet link. Yeah, I did. All right. So this is called Tattoo. Instead of a tattoo, it's a Tattoo. So it's a thin and feel through tattoo. And this is what it is. It's a little, and I'm not an engineer, so those of you that are more on the engineering side, you're going to have to get speech pathology layman's terms. But it's like a little Band-Aid. That's what it looks like to me, that you put on someone's skin. And then they were talking about what they're doing with this Band-Aid. I'm not going to play the whole video. It's only 30 seconds. So anyways, there's information, there's a PDF about that, and I put that in our Padlet. And you've got some other applications with what they're doing with these little sensor Band-Aids. That's what I'm going to call them, sensor Band-Aids, because that's what they look like to me. So I just thought that was kind of a cool little technology. And I wonder what people can use something like that for. I just found that one recently, so I haven't had enough time to really investigate it. But who knows what we can do with sensor Band-Aids. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I'm wondering, is the resolution high enough that it could translate Braille?
I don't know.
Say, I mean,
That's a good question.
even if you're not a Braille reader, but you have Braille materials, could it do the Braille for you? the translation?
That's a Ben question. What do you think, Ben?
That has some really great applications to it.
Mhm.
That's an awesome idea. I love it.
So we just have to get that idea into the
Yeah.
right minds. Maybe we could even email them from this site and see if they've ever considered that with their little tactile band-aids, sensor band-aids. Tactoos, they're tactoos. That reminds me of like a Star Wars character. You're muted, Ben. If you were talking to us,
I'm
you're
sorry.
muted.
I was sitting here going, where's that in the Padlet? I'm trying to pull that up. So I've got to reach
Okay,
out.
in the Padlet, let me go back. I think I put it, oh, I put the MyoSpring. I think I put it under the next one. So either, if it's not, I will have it in there. Maybe I didn't. Oh, I think it's this one. Nope, that's the K through 12. Oh, maybe I failed you all. How about this? Watch this.
I see the
Boom.
MyoSpring.
All right, I'm gonna stick it in the Padlet.
All right.
And then, so it's there, and I'm going to stick it in our chat, and then I'm also going to, just as we speak, under, let's see, where would that go? More research. Let me put the link there. And we're going to title this TAC 2. All right. So now it's in there.
Thank
Under
you.
the research part. So you'll be able to look at that. And I think that's all I've added new to the Padlet, were those few things. And I added another group, I thought, but I'm going to have to go back and look. So make sure you keep up with the Padlet, because I'm always adding new things and I'm trying to keep it organized, but I think it's such an easy way to share everything. All right. And then now it's Tech Intel. So let's see what everyone out there is making and doing. Turn it over to you, Anna, to finish up.
Hey, Shannon,
Uh-huh.
do you remember when we first met?
Yep.
You came to
Maybe.
an AT group out of Missouri, I think, and you were talking about needing help designing a tool that would help a
Fishing worms.
disabled fisher put a worm on a hook. And
Did you
there
find
were
one? I'm still working on it.
well, I mean, there were all kinds of reasons why what I was suggesting wouldn't work. Um, and a lot of them had to do with is what the this is really what the person wants. Um, and so in the interest of all the alternative solutions, I was attending a basic fly tying class last night, and we made a San Juan worm fly, quote unquote. And that's just a tiny little piece of chenille um, attached to a hook. I don't know. The fly fishing often happens in rivers, so this thing is moving very quickly, and fish don't have a lot of time to go up close and sniff it. But um, remind me again why making wormy type
So,
lures
so,
wasn't deal.
so so I live on a lake, and I often invite individuals with disabilities to come and fish at my house because I have old students and friends. And I have one friend, and she has a trimmer. And so she doesn't have the stability. And so we come to the lake and we want to fish. And so I've actually come up with something close, and it's kind of a scoop that I've 3D printed. I don't have it with me right now, so that you can kind of scoop the worm in and it goes down to the bottom, but it gets kind of stuck. And then she can actually hold the hook and then hook the worm. But the problem is then I've got some other kiddos that come with autism, and they want to fish, but they have an aversion to touching the worm. So there's a couple of reasons why. If I think about growing up with my dad. My dad had five of us kids that he would take fishing, and he would have to put the worms on the hooks for all of us. And so he never really got to fish. And I get to relive that. This is my payback, because when I bring these kids and adults even to the lake, I end up not being able to fish because I'm putting the hook on. But I want to give them that independence. And so that's where that came from. Because during the pandemic, I had a lot of people sneaking up here to fish because they wanted to get that outdoor experience. But we're kind of a safe, we have a dock, and I feed the fish duck food. So we always catch fish. So it's kind of like a win-win for everyone. So that's where I'm trying to find a way where I can get my kids to be able to get these big night crawlers onto this little hook without having to do it for everyone. That's it.
All right.
And
They want real worm guts out there, I see. Okay.
well, and the real worms are what the catfish and the perch, the sunfish off of the lake are eating. So that's what they're fishing with here.
I want to send you a pack of San Juan worms, and I want to see if you can get anything to eat that worm.
All right, you send them, and I will go out on my dock on a break, and I will fish. Because yesterday I had one of my old students, call and say, "Can you just walk out and show me how you can catch a fish?" And we caught a little sunfish. So that's what we did.
It's a deal.
But those are exactly the ideas we're trying to build on, is getting people out there, because once again, many of us are therapists. I have ideas, like I know it's got to be like my little Band-Aid, just as Ben came up with the ideas, but we need those engineers who can do that programming for us. And then we need that individual with a disability who can try it out and say, "Oh my gosh, that's the best thing ever." So that's where we're at. Any other, what have you created or what are you working on?
I guess I'll take a stab.
Go.
Alrighty. Well, I am actually in the process of making a new Atento board out of foam, because one, I guess, negative feedback I got that it was 3 pounds instead of 1 pound. So I don't know how to get rid of my background. So I'm just going to kind of show it. But yeah, it's going to be the same size and texture and stuff, but it's just going to be a pound and stuff. So nothing too crazy. It's just a achievement board that's kind of more designated towards children and stuff, because 1 pound isn't going to hurt near as much as 3 pounds hitting their foot.
And some people are new, Will, so will you kind of talk about what your product does so that they have an idea of once again, it's always built out of necessity. So go ahead and just tell them what your Tinto board does, because I've got one and I've had a lot of good feedback on it.
Perfect. Well, oh, hold on. All right, there we go. Can y'all see me? Now I'm on my couch again. I'm
now
off
we
the
got
boardroom.
now we got our couch man back.
Perfect. This is where I feel most comfortable. But yes, I guess to our new members, it's just a simple board. I know this says Clemson. I know y'all are UT people, but I'm in South Carolina, so we prefer Clemson down here. That's our orange that we see. But simple idea, you can put pegs in these holes so it can go around any shape and size object. It started out with that way people could put it around any shape and size dish. That way they can use traditional plateware instead of the suction cup technology. But then I realized that it can be used for learning motor skills and stuff, and just kind of, but wait, there's more uses. So Ben has actually been a really big advocate for us and stuff. So it's a simple idea. And like I said, I'm from Charleston, but I met Tamales at Abilities Expo in Dallas last year. So simple concept. For some reason, in the entire creation of every person to walk this beautiful planet, I'm the only person that's come up with a simple idea like this. So yeah, I sold a board to Australia the other day. So that was wild, seeing that come in the inbox and being like, oh my gosh, and I'm working on my couch, so somehow things are working out. So, that's a little bit what I do, is just I'll kind of put a link to my website in there. So if y'all want to just kind of look at it, that way I can get some traction, and my search engine optimization can go up. So that always helps. But yeah,
and we've adopted Will here in Texas. So
and
he's
Nico,
an
who
unofficial
needs Shark
Texan.
Tank? Exactly. That's their motivation, though. They are my fish food for sure, in the words of Shannon. So that's a little bit about me. So that's kind of what I have going on is this one coming out soon. So be on the lookout.
And Kylan, with your semester starting, do you have any new projects going on?
You know, I feel like I'm not really working on anything fun right now. I'm doing a lot of writing. I am, though, designing a couple weeks of content for teaching OT students about assistive technology. So that's been kind of fun. I'm not doing creating, but I'm going to teach them a little bit about creating assistive technology using some different modalities. So that'll be a good opportunity to hopefully expand our ranks.
Thank you. Perfect. More Texans joining the group. Anyone else?
I do want to say, if you haven't got your hands on that Atento board to check it out, it is absolutely amazing. All of the different, like I said before, the applications that it has for it. Um, I've lent one out to, actually ended up giving it now, because one of my ECI, early childhood intervention babies, mom is working with her and just found so many uses for it. She uses it to hold up her, Shannon, help me, eye gaze, for her communication. But mom also uses it to when she's working on feeding and anything that she has in front of her. I've lent one out to a physical therapist for her to try out with several of her different kids and get her advice on it. I've showed our complex access needs, call them CAN, specialist at the service center. It's like, oh, these are fantastic. So, well, I've sent you the forms, and as soon as I can get that filled out, I'm ordering these, and we're going to be showing them off to everybody I can. There's
You
so
are a
many
good
different people
man.
that can use it.
Thank you so very much. Yeah, the Tamales group has been, and Kylan, thank you so much. Y'all have been nothing but supportive here for this little South Carolinian. Because now that I can say I'm working with people in Texas, that goes a long way here in South Carolina.
Well, I
Well,
think
that's
one of
fantastic.
your biggest ups to it is it's affordable. It's AT for our kids. That's affordable for anybody to purchase. It's not one of these, $1,000 boards. So
It's affordable and it's functional, and those are two
yes.
key pieces. It's diverse and it's functional. So we've got some. I like the OTs and PTs that have tried the one I have. They like it for assessment purposes because it really helps them with identifying appropriate switch placement for their students, and that was a really key thing that I wouldn't have thought about. But it's because they can move it to different locations, they can really get that range of motion established where the children hit the switch the best, and they can have really good data for that. So that's what they've been using it for.
And that's why I like to keep it simple and not restrict anyone on stuff. It's like it started out for casserole carriers, but now people are using it for switches and stuff like that. So I just say here, here's some uses, and then the creativity juices just start flowing with people.
Right. All right. Anybody else? And am I pronouncing it right? Fife? You're here today, and I'm so excited to see you because she actually took some of the communication boards and did some work in South Africa or in Africa, Middle Africa, Central Africa.
Hi, so nice to talk to you again, Miss Page. I haven't been able to talk or come to meetings very often. I'm in high school. Hi, I'm Fife. And I did get to take some communication boards to Lagos, Nigeria. So I did some testing there, and I also delivered it to a school for those with autism in K2 Nigeria. So it was a lot of fun.
And she's dynamic, and she's a senior in high school, getting ready. Have you accepted anywhere to college, or you're still putting your applications in?
I am still putting my applications in. So I did just finish, I applied to A&M, so we'll see how that one goes.
And we won't hold that against you here at UT, but
don't worry, my UT also went out too. I submitted both of them. So I love UT more, don't worry.
Well, wherever you go, I think you're going to do great things. So once again, Karen, Fife's been with us since last year, and because she's a senior in high school, she kind of, it's hit or miss, but I've met with her via Zoom, and she's doing some fantastic things also. So thank you for coming on today.
Thank you so much.
All right, anyone else? All right, we will move on. We are 4:25. Next meeting is November 11th. And then if anybody's up in the Dallas area, we will have a team up at Dallas Abilities on 12/5 to 12/7. And that's another opportunity if someone's in the Dallas area to see a lot of the vendors and a lot of the equipment that is out there. So it looks like any Q&A, that's all we have. Don't forget the Padlet. So here, if you didn't get it in the link, you can scan it on your phone and email it to yourself. And then we've got a shared box link. So I wanted to make sure everyone knows, I do put, these are articles that are not open access. I put them in box and ask you not to share them, but they're really for our group. But there are some articles in there. Like I just picked up another one on cerebral palsy that I'm going to be adding. So make sure that if you want some extra articles, I do have some in there regarding AT and our work. Because I think that's really important for us to follow research also. And if everyone is moving forward together, then success takes care of itself. And one day I'm going to be able to show off my Mustang that I'm rebuilding, but it's not ready yet. So
I think you're just
it does
gonna
not look like
forever build it in your head. It's just gonna be pristine in your head.
I got new tires on it. So now it has a way to roll it out of the garage so I can actually start working on some of the interior. So we're getting somewhere.
Okay. I was about to say, was that last week's dream or this week's dream?
This is my forever dream. So that by the time I have until my oldest grandchild's 8. And so when he's 16, I want him to be able to drive my old Mustang around. So I got time.
These monthly meetings keep you accountable, so.
That's correct. So it has its own, but it has the original Mustang wheels, not the fancy ones. And that's all we have for today. So thank you. You guys are all awesome.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone. Nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you. Thank you for joining.
Thank you.
Thanks again. Take care, everyone.
Bye, y'all. Have a great day.
Ben, thank you so much.